Welcome to Now You're Cooking. My name is Mike Fear, and we are open at Now You're Cooking every day from 10 till 5, except for Sunday when it's 10 till 4. We hope you'll come in and see us. So today's demonstration is something kind of new. Some of you may be familiar with it. Some of you have heard about it. Some have no clue what sous vide is. So sous vide is cooking under vacuum. So what we're doing is we are using a vacuum sealer or some type of thing which we can get a vacuum on our food, and we're then cooking it in, I use the term cooking because I suppose it is, in a water bath which we have a specific time. So this is actually just done. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you the what the product coming out, and especially if I can just make sure that, there we go. So what we have here is a sous vide stick, and that is keeping this water in this pan at a consistent temperature. We're doing pork chops, and so these pork chops have been in the water at 135 degrees for about an hour and a quarter. So what does that do? What is done to this is it's got the actual temperature of the meat to 135 degrees, which we think is a good temperature for a medium rare piece of pork. A lot of people overcook pork. This is a way to get your pork just perfectly cooked. But it's just cooked on the inside. What we're going to do next is we're going to cook it on the outside. And so I also decided to do one in a stasher. I'm sure some of you are familiar with stashers. And I'm just going to pop this piece out so you can see how it looks. It looks perfect, except it's not browned, and that's what we're going to do next. So I'm taking the things a little in reverse order. So I've got my cast iron pan on the stove. I could use olive oil, and we have some great olive oil here at Now You're Cooking. But I'm actually going to use a high heat avocado oil. Again, you can find this at Now You're Cooking. And we're going to give it a little splash of oil, and while that is heating up, I'm going to get my other piece of pork, which you see is nicely vacuum sealed. That's perfect for doing sous vide. Now I'm going to pop this piece out. And you'll see here how nicely it looks. And now if we have good heat here, not quite. So sous vide, what can you do in it? You can do beef, you can do pork, you can do chicken, fish, vegetables. You can do a boiled egg. We had all kinds of plans to do a couple of boiled eggs so you can see how yummy they are when they come out. Now, a lot of people will say, boiled eggs in a sous vide, it takes about 45 minutes to do it. Yeah, but it's just awesome. The egg is just so different. It's not rubbery at all. So we'll have to try that at a future time. And so now we're going to do a very quick sizzle up of this pork, and there we go. So we're not cooking it now. What we're doing is we're giving it a cosmetic look, and it also gets some of that lovely taste that you want in your pork chop. So this is the before and after you see here. So very nice lean pork chops, and gonna let them get nicely colored up. I did these for about an hour and 15 minutes. They're going to be fairly tender anyway. They're going to be even more tender this way. And probably leave that a bit longer. I leave the other one a bit longer. So you can put some meats in for as long as 24 hours. I've heard of people doing it even longer. And you imagine that the meat would be just be gray and nasty. It's amazing. You can put, I did a leg of lamb, a 9-pound leg of lamb, 24 hours at 130 degrees. And I seared it, instead of in a pan like this, which I couldn't really do that, I seared it on my grill. When I cut into the meat, it was still red. It was still rare. And that's one of the beauties of this, is you still get the meat you want, the consistency you want. And turn that one. So turning now to, just finishing here, I'll shut it off in a minute. So let's talk about what we're going to do. The masher was because the stasher wanted to float, so I had had to improvise. So first of all, what do you like on your pork chops? And so we've looked at some of our spices here. This one is what I use today, Attila's Imperial Rub. And this is, as you see, from Griffin Ridge. It's ideal for pork. I think it's apparently the folks who at Griffin Ridge, they had a pig called Attila. So apparently it's named after that, Attila's Imperial Rub, not the Hun. Another one that you could use easily is the 7 Seas seasoning. Has a little bit more spice to it. We have the Fairwinds fish seasoning. That would be good. Anything you like on your pork will work really well. And that looks to me actually perfect. Ready to go to the table. So what I've done is taken these, just basically give a sprinkling of this. Don't need to over season it. And I'm going to give it a little pepper. Got my OXO pepper grinder here. A little bit of pepper, not too much. You can always add more seasoning after the fact. So I'm just going to pat it down into the chop and just turn it over. And there we go. Put a little salt, pepper, so what we'll do next is we'll pop one of these in this sealable bag. I'm going to pop this one in just like that. Here's my sous vide sealer. I'm just going to pop that down there, snap it, and now I'm going to press the button to vacuum seal. And you can see right here how all the air is coming out. And now the air is out, we're going to have it seal the bag. And there you can see, nicely sealed, completely under vacuum. Another way to do this, and this is a system from Zwilling. It's really just a Ziploc bag, and it just has this little dock here, and now we just put that right on there, and you see it seals it right up, except I didn't seal this up very well. And I think I've got it this time. So now the next thing after we have it sealed is we need a sous vide. And we have a couple of sous vide machines here. You see the Breville and also the Zwilling. We're using the Breville today. We think it's just excellent. You control it with your phone. And if I can only remember where I put my phone, here it is. So let me pull the stick out so you can see it. So it's taking water in at the bottom and it spits it out here. And what it's doing is it's heating the water and keeping it at a constant temperature. That's really what you want for this. So I have on my program here, I can just basically select, I'm doing poultry, seafood, beef, pork, lamb, whatever. So if I'm a novice, it's very easy. I can just press pork, and then it says, what sort of pork? Are you making heavenly honey glazed ham or amazing overnight bacon? No, we're just doing the basic pork chop. So it says 30 minutes to 3 hours, and it even shows you what it looks like and how it can be. So right here, I'm going to set the temperature. And they're saying their favorite temperature is 140. I'm going to go 135. That's my favorite temperature. And then I'm going to set the time. And they suggest if your pork chop is an inch, is probably an hour. This is inch and a half, and it's an hour and a half is what they recommend. I like the hour and 15 minutes, and I could actually set it, both the temperature and the time. But I just, all I have to do is press Start Joule, and immediately you see it's just started up. So it tells me what the temperature is here, 126 degrees right now, and it's working up towards 135. And as soon as it gets to 135, I can just pop my package of meat right in there, and 128. So I'll leave it in there for that length of time and take it out, sear it, and eat it. So why don't I just pop this in? It's almost there. And okay, it's ready. So now I've popped it in, and now I can just tell it to start the time, and it's now going to keep track of time. So I've got my phone, it's going to alert me, and while that's happening, I'm just going to get a plate here and pop out one of these, and here's my lovely pork, and you'll see it's still lovely and juicy here. It's not overcooked, and pardon me while I give it a try. And the only thing I need is wine. 2 wines here. Sorry to speak with my mouth full. This is a lovely Pinot Noir from Oregon. All the fruit is organic. They use biodynamic, and it really is just outstanding. This is what I fancy, though. This is also from Oregon. It's also Pinot Noir. It's a pink bubbly, and just absolutely dying for a piece of port. So I hope you learned a little bit. Please come by and ask for more information if you need to. And with that, I hope to see you in the store soon.